How many big plays do you give up because of your slow transition? In this video, I want to give you my 4 key points on transitioning that will help make sure that will never happen again. So first point is stopping force. So what do I mean about stopping force? So if you got a receiver running at you, you backpedaling, and he stops on the dime, you got to stop your force from going back. All right, so you got to do any type of drills that's going to train your body on stopping that force as you going back. All right, everything that we do is force. We start force, we stop force. All right, which leads me to my second point, start and force. So like I said, you got a receiver running at you and you going in your back pedal. We at that stop point. We stop that force. We got to learn how to start that force as quick as possible. All right, so we got to learn how to give force. All right, so when we stop and force, we sticking that foot into the ground. That's why we wear cleats. I wear cleats to make sure we're not slipping. So we stick that foot into the ground as hard as we can, and we got to restart that force up to be able to break in any direction that we want to go. So talking about breaking in directions leads me to my third point, hips. Your hips is very important. What I mean about your hips being important is your hips is going to lead you to the direction that you got to go. So when we stop and start that force, we got to learn how to stop, open our hips, and start the force to the direction that we got to get to. We can't open our hips at 90 when we really should be opening our hips at 80 degrees. So what I mean about the degrees is if you understand the 360-degree diagram, all right, we start at 0, we got 90, we got 135s, we got 180, full circle is a 360, just breaking it down a little bit. So typically every route that you got to cover is a 45-degree route, a 90-degree route, a 135-degree route, a 180-degree route, all right? So if you understand those degrees, you can open up your hips to be able to break in any direction that you got to get to. So make sure the drills that you're working on is drills that's going to break you in those directions. So when you backpedaling, you breaking on 45 degrees. When you backpedaling, you breaking on 90 degrees. When you backpedaling, you breaking back on 0 degrees, and so on. So working on your degrees, working on your hips to making sure that you starting and stopping your direction. Because if you breaking, like I said, if you got to break 90 and you break 92, it's a small room for error. We ain't got that much room. So if you taking that step when you should be coming down, that might make or break the play. So you got to understand whatever direction you got to get to it immediately. We don't want to round the steps. We don't want to take too many false steps. We want to make sure that we hitting our degrees and our angles directly to where we got to get to. So my last key for transitioning is your strides. You got to make sure when you're coming out of your break that you got good strides. You can't have short, choppy steps coming out of your break because that receiver just going to run away from you. You got to make sure that you're gaining ground and getting a step on that receiver and you be able to make a play on the ball. If it's too short, you're not going to get there. Make sure you got the correct strides coming out of your break, all right? So to wrap it all together, we got to stop force, we got to start force. You got to focus on your hips, and you got to make sure you got the correct stride. And a bonus tip, be in the athletic position, all right? You can't do any of this without being in the athletic position, meaning if your chest is up, it's going to make you slower. Make sure that chest is down over your knees and toes, and you explode out of your breaks. I hope this helped you. Remember, be better than they say. Until next time, let's get it.